Hello guys, Waltalon here and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at Pureglass Aggro, a deck that I love to hate. It's a high roll deck that wants to use Pureglass Spears alongside Dragias to deal a bunch of damage in a single turn. You can also give the attack boost to Aquila, or if you're playing it, do Cordless as well. Just any double attacker works with this card in order to get as much value of that double attack plus 1000 attack as possible. Now, also before I get into the deck discussion, I just want to say thank you for 100 subscribers. I did not realize there were enough people who wanted to see some random guy talk about card games. And I guess not much will change after that point, but I just want to say thank you for that. Alright, back to discussing about this deck. Now, the main combo is the Pureglass plus Dragias line, so we are maxing out on it, as well as the Aquila to just have as many ways of getting a semblance of the combo as possible. We're also playing 2 Phoenix Shrine. You can play more Phoenix Shrine if you want to, but I felt like I wanted the other cards in the deck more, and I don't think I need to max out on Phoenix Shrine when I'm also maxed out on Dragias in this deck specifically. Just like the difference between 5 Dragias and 6 Dragias I don't think is too big, which is why I'm fine keeping it at these numbers, but you can absolutely play more just because there is that logic of just wanting to have as many ways of getting your combo pieces as possible. And you could probably cut like Harveys or something for it if you want to. Speaking of Harvey, we're playing 3 Harvey, 2 Sea Dragonite for monster ways of checking back row. Sea Dragonite also is a Sea Serpent, so if you need to use Grand Extreme just to shuffle 5, you can do it on a Sea Dragonite if you need to. It also shuffles 2, so you can like put back your good cards like your Harvey or Phoenix Shrine and whatnot if you're running out of those. Harvey is also here to play through Lurker, very powerful card that it's very important to play through, so I think having the Harvey to make sure they can actually destroy the Lurker when they are trying to play passive is very good for this deck. Barrier Statue and Legend Magician are pretty much staples for decks with Legend Strike, which we are playing 2 copies of, and also we have Amazing Dealer because consistency is good. 2 Lurker for more back removal alongside the 3 Legend Strikes and 2 Gold Cyclones. Just having back removal to make sure your mainline combo can actually resolve and actually win the game is pretty important, so I have all of this back removal to make sure that it happens. And for Legend Monster, we'll Cyber Attack Alligator to pair with the Legend Strikes and Legend Magicians as an alternative beat stick to pair with the Pureglass Spears, just an efficient guy to get out there to target to give the 1000 attack with the Pureglass Spears, just to be able to have more flexibility outside of the main combo. For spells, you got 3 Ship for more consistency, 2 Grand Extreme. You can play 3 if you want to, but you only have 5 targets in the deck, so I don't think playing 3 potential bricks is a good idea. So running 2 for the potential full combo, but not so much so that you are clogged on them. Reborn is our legend spell of choice. You can Reborn Pureglass Spears, which is kind of like spending Grand Extreme on it. Or you can get back the Lurker for my back removal, and it's just in general a pretty strong card. Also, can be a graveyard hit theoretically if you're playing against Wonder, you steal the Magician or something like that. We've already talked about the 3 Legend Strike, just an insane card. 2 Gold Cyclone for more back removal, and for Trap 2 on 1 Nobody Scat Thief, 1 Mirror Force, and 2 Automatic Accident Prevention. Pretty good synergy with the defenders in this deck, and Lurker especially, but it does fall pretty 2 Harveys from the opponent, so you do have to be pretty wary of those when you activate this card, but it is still a pretty strong card when you actually resolve it. Side deck wise, I'm not going to go through the side deck too in depth because it's not very interesting. Got the Raiza for going second against maximum. Got the Vanity's Fiend for the usual stun stuff, the Barrier Statue is already in the main deck. Deepsea Hunters, Prison Island for Harpie, Seal Array for more maximum hate, Dark Hole for sticky boards, and Lurker hate. 3 working for Wonder to side over the Ghost Cyclones and the Scat Thief for just all of these, so you need to have the back removal and the Torrential Cylinder as per usual. And now that we've gone through this deck list, let's take a look at some gameplay. Our first match is against the Light Machine, and we have a really bad hand, let's just say. We're going first here, and we draw, well, at least it's a level 7, we can use Ship to discard it to draw 2, and we still don't find anything that goes to be nice if we went first, if we went second, but last. We're just gonna set 3 and pass back to them, but once they hit their draw phase, we're gonna be activating the automatic accident prevention to maybe find 2 blockers to make sure we don't take 10 million damage here. And ideally we would have liked to find things like Lurker or Pureglass, but having just anything would be nice to make sure we don't take too much damage, and Aquila and Sidra are fine. The important thing here is after these two die, we still will only have 3 monsters in grave, so the Ghost Cyclone will still be able to draw us a card. They'll start their turn here, they'll tribute someone for Jinzo. We don't have any traps right now, but if we did, that would have been pretty annoying. And in normal summon Bear Statue, set the Battle Demotion, which is not live because of the Jinzo here, and they go to battle phase. And they know what I said, so they could just go a Bear Statue into the Dragias and the Jinzo into the Aquila, because the automatic accident prevention has to reveal them to your opponent before you set them. What? Okay, they decide, or maybe they weren't paying attention or something. They show what okay, they take 100 for free, and then they run into the Aquila. They flipped out with the Jinzo. I guess if you make a mistake like this, obviously you want the Aquila off the board so that it doesn't just kill the Jinzo for free. Which, funnily enough, this misplay makes it worse for us, because now we are only drawing 3 cards as opposed to the 4 cards that we will be drawing alongside the Ghost Cyclone if our board was clear. So it is going to be harder for us to actually draw something good here, and we don't actually draw that great of a hand here. We can go for the Jin's dealer here and then cycle 3 here. We also drew a lot of our special summoning cards, Legend Strikes, the Grand Extreme and the Reborn, all need to special summon. This Barrier Statue is not on the board, so we can't actually activate any of them. Otherwise, we'll just fire off the Reborn, get it right, get the Dragias and just swing in. But as it stands, we're gonna just use the dealer to cycle, and maybe we can find a Dragias on top here, or a Fiend Strike will work as well. No, we didn't find anything. We flip out Sea Dragonite. We were thinking we were gonna shuffle 2 monsters back, but I want everything in here, especially since we still have a Legend Strike to get back the Aquila later on, so that we can pop the Jinzo. But because we don't actually have anything, we don't actually get the free information on Sea Dragonite. Optimally, we should have just normal summoned the Harvey and then check the back row that way. That way we don't need to shuffle 2 of our good cards to actually get the information. But whatever the case, we set the Harvey, we set the Scat Thief, in case they for some reason decide to tribute over the Jinzo here. Attack over the Barrier Statue so that it's gone for when it gets back to us, and then pass back to them. They just tribute summon this Innovator, normal summon a Griffin, activate effect discarding the other Innovator and join 1 card. They top deck a Cyber Dragon so they can tribute summon that over the Griffin as well. They go for the Innovator here, and I was thinking they would have gone for the Piercing here, but they chose to go for the attack instead. I think it would have been more damage if they had just decided to go for the Piercing here, but whatever. They deal damage here and then swing over everything this time and pass back to us. And we draw. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Now, there's nothing on my opponent's side of the field that has 2500 attack, so Dragias would be really good here. And we also drew the Aquila off the top, so we don't need to spend the Legend Strike on it. So what we can do here is we can go to the Ghost Cyclone to pop that back row. It's a battle emotion. That's fine. We'll go for the Aquila here, milling 1 to pop the Jinzo and getting 900 attack and double attack. Then we tribute summon the Dragias using its effect to mill 1, and then we use the Reborn, special summoning the other Dragias from our graveyard here, activate the effect, and then go to battle, attack over both our monsters here, and we have well over lethal damage here, so our opponent will just scoop. For second game here, it's against Harpie, and they open Icarus, which is a pretty strong card, but we'll see what happens here. We went first, so this Ghost Cyclone isn't going to be as good here. We'll just set everything and pass back to them. Also, we drew the Reborn again, which is we're just good players, alright? They'll start their turn here. They'll start with the Legend Magician here, check out 3, and maybe deck them here. They could have sent the middle ladies here, but they choose not to. Instead, they just keep it in deck to draw into later on. And then we'll just tribute summon both of the maximum pieces here, set the Icarus, swing into our Phoenix Dragons here, and pass back. Unfortunately, our board is not clear again, so Ghost Cyclone is not able to just pop this Icarus for free, but whatever. We'll start our turn here. We'll go for the dealer here, thinking that we want to discard our Dragias here to Reborn with the Monster Reborn later on. But they just go for the Icarus now, which is very interesting. It's a huge risk to take here. Like, theoretically, if my hand wasn't good enough, then maybe that would have been high value. But it's a pretty big risk to just fire it off here when there are a lot better cards that you could be firing it off on. If you have the read that I am on Wonder Fusion, you could be waiting for Lurker. If you have the read that I'm on Pureglass Aggro, you could be waiting for a Pureglass or something. Or hell, a Dragias, which, you know, like 90% of the 90% chance that I am on, because I'm on at least Phoenix Dragon. but they just choose to just fire it off the Amazing Dealer here, which offers us a very solid play here. We get to go for we'll start with the Legend Magician first, just to check up 3. We'll send the Cyber Attack Alligator here, which we choose not to add because there's no reason to add it right now. I don't have the tribute material to summon it again. So just tribute summon the Dragias here, use the effective mill 1, gain the double attacks and everything else, battle phase, and deal a huge chunk of damage and pass back to them. And they will start the turn here with not really a great hand here. They'll just set everything and pass back. Unfortunately, they didn't even draw a single one of their maximum pieces, otherwise they would have been able to tribute summon it, equip the full dress, and they just swing in here and deal a bunch of damage. But unfortunately, they didn't even find that, so they just pass back to us, where we will draw here. And that's a pretty good hand. We'll start with the Dragias here to mill 1. Go for the Legend Magician here to mill the Legend Magician into the... we choose to send nothing here. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, you'll see why. While the Cyber Attack from our graveyard to the hand, trigger some the Lurker, activate the Lurker's effect. To blow up a back row, we find the Pureglass here, then we go for the Legend Strike here, special summoning the Magician and blow up 1 back row, activating its effect again. We don't get to add the Cyber Attack back to our hand because it's in our hand already. But we get to send Harvey to grave just in case, I guess. We go for the Cyber Attack to get the Legend Magician in grave again so that we can special summon it back out with the Legend Strike to pop the last remaining back row. And just activating it for fun again, and we find the Pureglass, which realistically doesn't matter here because the second Dragon in our hand is already lethal damage, but if we wanted to, we could Reborn the Pureglass and deal 10 million damage to our opponent's face, and knowing that, they'll just surrender when they see the second Dragias. And now we'll show off a best of 3 against the best order format Wonder. And our opening hand is fine here, but they are starting, so let's see what they start with, and just a normal summon Barrier Statue, setting everything else, a pretty mundane start here. And we'll go here, we'll just activate Legend Magician, check off 3. We don't have a target to send here, so we will not send. Then we'll tribute normal summon the Harvey here. We want to get rid of the Barrier Statue so that our Grand Extreme is live later on. And we get to check our back row, our opponent's back row for free, just for information's sake, and we get the Risky Store Excavation here, which tells us nothing, realistically. We'll just go to battle facing with the Barrier Statue and pass back to them. And they will not draw a particularly great hand here. They go for the Graceful Chariot here to draw 3. And they'll discard 2 cards here. Then they'll go for the Stone Excavation to add back the Graceful. They're really desperately trying to dig for a way to out our tribute set here. And go for the Graceful here. And they find the Lurker, which is pretty good here. They go for the Water Sense effect to pop the Harvey here. And then tribute summon the Lurker to pop our back row. So we lose access to the Grand Extreme, which is actually kind of annoying. Then they go for the Jamaibu here to shuffle the Graceful and the Stone Excavation back to the deck to draw 1. And they don't find another tribute monster to tribute set the Lurker here, so they just use Ship to discard the Lurker, trying to find something here. And unfortunately they don't find anything, so they go for the Legend Strike now to special summon a Magician here to get another peek at the top 3 cards of the deck. And this time they find a Magician, which is pretty nice for their Wonder Fusion later on. But for the rest of the turn, they just set everything and pass back. There's a pretty good position for a Lurker here. They have a pretty passive turn overall and have a lot of food for the Lurker to see to pop and get free burn damage off. We'll go for the Ship here, we'll discard and draw 2. Then we'll go for the Lurker, pop in the back row here, we'll hit the Legend Strike and then it returns to our hand. Then go for the Ghost Cyclone to pop the back row, then the Legend Strike to pop the last remaining back row here. And we're going to be using the Harvey later on to pop that tribute set. But for now, we get to check the top 3 and then decide to send nothing. Then use the Fiend Dragon to discard the Lurker to add back the Dragias, just for a beat stick, use Dragon's effect to mill 1. Then go for the Harvey, pop the tribute set, which turns out to be the Lurker. Then tribute summon, normal summon the Barrier Statue to prevent them from activating Wonder Fusion should they actually find the material later on. Then we go to battle, swing in, and pass back to them. We are in a pretty good position here. We just need to find Pureglass and we've basically won the game. They go for the Water Zen here, just as an attacker. They just set everything else. Go to battle phase, attack over the Barrier Statue, and pass back to us here. Where we will draw here a Legend Strike, which is pretty good here, which means we can actually get back the Barrier Statue in defense again. So if they don't die on this turn, then they will still need to deal with the Barrier Statue in the second time. So we will swing in here and they flip up the Nobody Scat Thief, which means that our Harvey is not able to actually swing in for lethal. So they will get an actual turn here. They'll discard the Lurker off of it and pass back to and we will pass back to them, where they will activate this Graceful Chariot here to send some cards and then Ship to discard and draw even more than use. They will not use the Legend Magician's effect here because they only have 5 cards in deck and they want to make sure they can actually conserve the number of cards in their graveyard here. Number of cards in the deck rather, because otherwise they'll just deck out. They'll use the Magician's effect here to mill 1, go to battle phase, swing over the Dragias here. Now, This is their best bet at winning, I suppose, because if they leave the Dragias alone, I guarantee have the chance to just walk over it for lethal. But if they choose to get rid of it, I might not be able to find the beat stick to actually beat over the Magician, and they maybe are able to live for an extra turn. And they pass back to us, and we actually don't find the beat stick here, so we just set everything and pass back to them. Also, the reason why I didn't set the Grand Extreme here on the previous turn is that I did not want to give them targets to Lurker, but they were... No, they had one Lurker left in the deck still, so I forgot to not risk it and to just keep it in case I need it. I need it to actually win later on. And now I decided to set it because otherwise I'll only be drawing one card, which isn't good. And they get to go to their turn. They don't use the Magician effect here because otherwise they just kill themselves. So they use the Great Spear to get piercing and hit over the bear statue and pass back to us. We have 2 draws here, and there are a lot of draws here that actually do it here, and we do not find any of them. Great. We'll use the Grand Extreme here just in case they don't have a way to get to fusion material here. Maybe the last card is nothing here, but well, yeah, this is Jamaivu. And maybe they aren't able to do anything here after I Grand Extreme their fusion material. I know they have the rest of their Wonder Fusions in hand, so maybe if like their last card was Roadstar or something, then and if I shuffle all the other material back, maybe they wouldn't have been able to do anything still, and I would have an extra turn plus Scat if I actually find something. So that's why I did it that way. And also it allows me to check in the back row in case it's something that I can pop here. And we do use it here, and we find the other Grey Spear here, which allows us to get it removed off the board. That means they have no copies of Grey Spear left in the deck, which is pretty nice. That means that this is the only way they can pierce, which might matter a lot. But we'll see what they do here. We'll go for the Magician's effect to mill 1, then they go for the Wonder Fusion, sending the Swordsman from the field back into the deck alongside Magician Engraved to make the Paladin here, and they don't need to gain the attack here, so they just draw a card here, putting back the Lurker here, and then go to the ship to hopefully find something, discarding the Roadstar here. And if we don't find the Lurker up the top, which is really good, we got to they got to go for a Lurker here, popping my Scat Thief here, which is really unfortunate. Passing back to hand, they go for the Wonder Fusion again, making another Paladin here to draw another card, shuffling back the Water's End. They don't find anything, so they just go to battle here and swing in. They try to go for lethal here, maybe this was 0 defense, but it is the Amazing Dealer, so I do get to live for another turn. And they pass back to us. There are still a good bit of draws here that do it. We're still only drawing 2 cards, but maybe you can find it. Well, we have 1 more draw left, maybe we can find out off of that. Okay, well, we still technically have 1 more turn here. We'll go Legend Strike here to special summon the Legend Magician here to get rid of the Grey Spear so they don't have the piercing anymore. So maybe if they don't find a way to get that 4th attack or get piercing, then we are able to live. We'll try to find Cyber Attack Alligator, I guess. And then we'll just set 1 and pray here. But as we can see, they have the Dragias in hand, so they're just going to tribute summon that. And also, I guess, activate Water's End for fun. Popping the Harvey, using Dragon's effect, go to battle phase. Swing in, and just dealing us the remaining lethal damage. Game 2 here, that was a pretty unfortunate game 1 here. We definitely had a very good chance of just winning, but unfortunately we just didn't draw the right cards in the right order, so let's see what happens in this game though. And we'll start with the ship here to draw 2 cards, and we'll just set and pass here. We choose to keep the Pureglass in hand because we have the Grand Extreme rotation already. You could make the argument to also keep the Grand Extreme in hand, but I do want to still be drawing a fair amount of cards here. And also doing it this way means that Ghost Cyclone will be online here if both of these die, which is pretty good. And also Dealer if that is necessary if you draw another one off the top here. We'll pass back to them after that, and they don't really have a fantastic or very like funny turn. They'll just send a Magician off the top here, tribute summon a Lurker, tribute set rather, and then set a Mirror Force and pass back to them. Pretty passive start here, which is pretty good for us, and because we really like when our opponent is taking their time. Go for the Dealer here because they failed to kill it, so we'll discard 3 and draw 3. Then we found a Lurker here, which is pretty good. We'll go for the Legend Magician here to try to find... I believe I sided into Vanity at this point, so there's no Alligator to find, but just backstanding is pretty nice if we get to do that. We don't though, so we just go for Lurker here to pop their back row here, which is the Mirror Force, which is very nice. And we're going to go for the Dragon here, this time the Woodworking to add back the Dragias, and then using the Grand Extreme after we use the Dragias effect to special summon the Pureglass from my hand, shuffling back the fusion material and the Legend Strike targets back into the deck. using Pureglass' effect on Dragias to get go into the battle phase and swing in and deal a lot of damage. We're actually 100 off lethal, which is very unfortunate. But given that we've set them back a good 1 turn on activating Wonder Fusion already, and now 1 turn away from winning, I believe that is a fairly good position to be in. And also the reason why we discarded the other woodworking instead of discarding this Lurker here is because I wanted to keep this Lurker in hand in case they somehow manage to wipe our board. If they still have back row mania, I can just tribute summon Lurker and deal them 1000 damage and just win the game that way. But also if they end up drawing another Lurker, I only have 1 back row for them to pop, and I can just activate it when they normal summon that Lurker, which leaves their Lurker stranded on the field. And also it helps me get a little bit of greed here along the way as well, if that actually matters. But importantly, it leaves the Lurker stranded, so it prevents them from activating Ship afterwards, it prevents them from activating Jamaivu afterwards, and it leaves them with a vulnerable monster on board that I can just walk into if they somehow clear everything else. So we pass back to them on that, with them being in a very dire position here. And they draw the hand here, and that's not a very good hand. Also, this Legend Strike here, despite the fact that even if they had a target engraved, they don't have the life points necessary to activate it, which is certainly not a very good position to be in, especially when you are in a very do or die position right now. They go for the ship here to maybe find something, and they just don't really find anything here. They'll normal summon the barrier statue here, maybe trying to bait me into thinking they have the legend trap, I guess. I can just tribute summon Lurker here, block the back row and just deal 1000 that way, and that's also a valid lethal line. Next game. And game 3 here, this is for all the marbles. They're getting to go first. They get the set and pass. The usual stuff. We get to go for the Gold Cyclone here to blow up a back row and also draw a card. Then we go for the Legend Magician here to check top 3, and that's a pretty good barrier statue here. We're gonna send that. Normal summon the Dragias here just to clear bodies and activate the Legend Strike here, special summoning the barrier statue to keep them slowed down here. Swing in and pass back to them. Although we did unfortunately leave alive the best target here in the Water Zen here, as they can normal summon the Mystical Elf, flip up the Water Zen, pop up the barrier statue, which unlocks that Legend Strike in their hand here, which is very nice for them. They get to go for Legend Strike here, special summoning the Magician here, which checks on 3 and sends the Dragias to the grave, and then also as the Mystical Elf, which allows them to set the other Lurker as well. So they're doing this because even if I draw 1 Harvey, I still need to deal with the other one, so I need to draw like 2 Harveys or something along those lines. Or I find Pureglass, maybe. But I do need a very specific setup to actually clear both of these here. But I end up drawing 2 Harveys anyway, so we're just good gamers, we're just good at the game. We mill with Dragias, normal on the first Harvey, blow up one of the Lurkers, go for it again, blow up the other one. And then we tribute set the Lurker here, set the woodworking, and we shift this Dragias to defense because we see that they have sent the Dragias into grave with the Legend Magician, and if they are able to set up Wonder Fusion by finding a Magician and finding the Wonder Fusion as well, then they can see the Dragias and then deal a bunch of damage to us, and I don't want that to happen, so I shifted to defense, which is taking a risk, but I have the Pureglass in hand, so if this Dragias lives for the next turn, if they don't draw a good hand, I can just threaten them with the Pureglass line anyway. So I thought that this was a fine play to make, and I'm doing the same play again with the Woking, where it's the only valid target for Lurker, and I can just activate it when they normal summon Lurker and leave it stranded. So I feel like I was in a fairly good position to be in. You can make the argument to just get in for 25 now, to make it easier for later, but we'll see what happens here though. They just use Legend Strike here to get rid of our back row here, and getting the Legend Magician on the board, using Legend Magician to check top 3 and find the Legend Magician to send, and they tribute summon the Dragias here, and the barrier statue and the Water Zen, go to battle phase, clear the Dragias, and they run into the Lurker here, which is unfortunate for them, and they'll pass back here. And we'll draw here, and we start with the Lurker here. We get rid of the later set here, which is this, because that was the highest chance to be maybe a Legend Trap, and what do you know, it is actually the Legend Trap here. It's pretty good. We go for the Dark Hole now. We choose the Dark Hole now instead of using Ship to see what we might have instead. This is in case they have nobody Scat Thief, in which case I can choose whether I want to set my cards or I want to get in for damage here. And they don't use anything here, so I can just go for the Ship here, discarding the Lurker here. Unfortunately, we don't draw another low level here to tribute summon anything here, so we just go for the Legend Strike here to do that. Summoning the Magician here to get rid of a back row, which is Stone Excavation, activating the Magician here to send that amazing dealer into the graveyard here just for deck sending. And here we just kind of we figure like we're in the same position as before. Maybe I needed to be more aggressive with this hand, but I have the combo in my hand. I have the Dragias at the tail. I'm just missing the Grand Extreme and also having 2 other low levels as well. And if I'm able to find that, I do a lot of damage anyway, so I think I'm perfectly fine just playing it safer here, just making sure I don't die out of nowhere here. And they'll draw here. They don't even draw a particularly good hand here. They'll go for the Legend Strike here to summon the Magician here. Use the Magician here. They will find the Magician, the 7th row Magician here, so they get to go for the Wonder Fusion here, which is pretty nice. 7th Kiss doesn't do anything here though because of our play. So they do manage to find the Roadstar here, so they are able to go into the Paladin to draw a card here. And they don't manage to find the Lurker, they just put it back to the deck, so they just go head over the Lurker and pass back to us, and maybe you can find the combo here, we can just win. Nope, okay, we can go for the Harvey here. We'll check the monster here because we know they added back the Mystical Elf, so it might just be that, and it is. So we just get to clear it free. We normal summon the Vanities here, set the Torrential, go to battle phase, clean the Magician up, to which they will respond with activating the Harvey, the Scat here, and send everything in the hand to the grave to find like Wonder Fusion, like outs to this Vanities and whatnot. And they will draw here a pretty good hand. They will go for the Paladin first to draw a card, and they will top deck the Magician here, which allows them to add back the Mystical Elf, which is a pretty good amount of tribute fodder to have, to which we will respond after they tribute summon the Lurker. They will respond with the Torrential here, which is arguably a misplay. I just did not want to give them free damage off of the Harvey, off of the Lurker, but that gets rid of the Vanities off of my field, which means they can just activate Wonder if they have it in rotation. And they only have 8 cards in deck, so it's very likely that they have it. So it was arguably a misplay to activate this. I should have maybe just lost this Torrential here and just make them put them in a better habit type of situation. Let's see if we would have drawn into it. We would have actually drawn into the combo if we had survived this turn. But they have like the Grey Spears here they can activate as well, which would have there's a Grey Spear, they have a Grey to Charity, so they could dig for the last remaining Grey Spear that's in the deck, and in this situation they would have actually been able to find them because they would have milled the Jemaivu here and then drawn into the Grey Spear, which would have still been a really bad position to be in. And if they knew what they were doing, they would be able to just end on zero other monsters and force me to have to clear this Paladin to be able to actually deal them damage. So I don't think it actually mattered in the long run, but I think this is the wrong choice in retrospect. And after we clear the board here, they'll even activate the Scat here, just draw 3 and send 1. Then they'll go for the Jemaivu here, just for fun, I guess, to maybe draw more Spears here. Actually, I think they needed the... I think they needed the extra Spear here to actually kill here. They go for the Paladin here, the mill 1. Then they go for the Grey Spear here, Grey Spear here. Oh no, yeah, they kind of just normal summon the Roadstar and attack Monito. But having another Grey Spear is a pretty funny way to go about it, I suppose. They'll equip the second Grey Spear here, get the 89, go to battle phase to end, and that is the end of the game. And now we're back on the deck. Now overall, I think that this deck is fine. I think that it has some very clear weaknesses in drawing cards in the wrong order that it is pretty hard for this deck to rectify given the current tools. And I don't think that this deck is the best fit for this format, if I'm gonna be honest with you. So let's break it down. If you draw the main combo early enough, you win the game on the spot. Most decks can't really deal with a double attacking 3500 with piercing on turn 2. That is not something that most decks can actually handle unless they draw Mirror Force or they, I don't know, draw Dark Hole and then win the game on the spot next turn or something along those lines. But yeah, it's an insane combo if you get to pull it off, but you still need to pull it off, which is why we're on all of this consistency to hopefully try to get there as consistently as possible. But because the combo requires mostly in-handed cards, it's not going to be as reliable as something like Wonder Fusion, where they just need to get cards into the graveyard and activate a single card in hand. So it's always going to be already more unreliable than some of these other more combo-y style strategies in the format. And there are a good number of them that just have more consistency and arguably as much, if not similar levels of explosiveness as this deck. And even if you don't draw it early, even if you draw it somewhere like in the middle of the game, there is the higher chance of them drawing that Mirror Force, drawing the Legend, their Legend Trap, or drawing some other way of outing your combo. To make it so that your combo doesn't matter, which is why you still need to play all this back removal to be able to actually make sure that your attacks can actually go through. But for just some positives here, because we've been ragging on this deck for a bit already, you have a lot of side deck space. Now, a lot of this deck has generic cards, your Sea Dragonite, your Legend Strike package, your Aquila, your Harvey, your Dealer. You can play a lot of other things in this deck as well. I've seen talks about Gale Vanity as another attack booster to pair with the Dragias if you don't find the Pureglass Spears. That's another option they can play as well, and there's a lot of other generic tools that can have its own place in this deck. These are the tools that I personally find the most use out of, which is why they are in the deck. But you can definitely experiment not only with different tools in the main deck, but also different side deck hate as well. I have the Deepsea Hunter here, but you can also play like Graveyard Hate, like the 4 tracks for Graveyard Hate, or just other things along those lines. You just have a lot of flexibility in that regard, and that's one of the only few reasons I would consider playing this deck. But also Automatic Accident Prevention is a pretty solid card. Yes, Harvey can check it very easily, but it still requires them to have the Harvey. And if you get to resolve it and get some defenders on the board, and your opponent doesn't have the out for it, sometimes you just win the game off the spot that way. It's kind of auto win if your opponent just doesn't have the out, which is pretty strong. But yeah, overall, this deck is a fun deck that can take games off of the top competitors by virtue of it being a high roll garbage deck. But I don't think I'd play it over some of the more reliable decks in the format. And not, yep, okay. As always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, comment down below what you think about this deck and other things, miscellaneous things about Rushos or whatnot. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.